1,000 islands. $270 million people. 700 languages. And one question that has puzzled the world for centuries. How does a nation this divided stay together? The answer is written in rice fields and stone temples. In a language chosen not because it belonged to everyone, but because it belonged to no one. In a mosque and a cathedral that share a car park. In a volcanic island that falls completely silent once a year. In a flame coated in gold, rising above a city that was once someone else's colony. Indonesia has survived eruptions that changed the world's climate, tsunamis that erased entire coastlines in minutes, a financial collapse that brought down a 32-year dictatorship overnight. And yet, it rebuilt. Every single time, from the ancient temples of Java to the copper wings of a god rising above Bali. From spice routes that once made this archipelago the most wanted territory on Earth, to a digital economy now growing faster than almost anywhere in Asia. What is Indonesia really? You think you know. You don't. Not yet. Indonesian food is bold, rich, and full of flavor. Rice is the foundation of almost every meal, eaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The most famous dish is nasi goreng, fried rice cooked with spices, egg, and vegetables, known all over the world. Rendang, a slow-cooked spicy meat dish from West Sumatra, has been called one of the most delicious foods on the planet. Satay, grilled meat on skewers served with peanut sauce, is eaten everywhere from street stalls to restaurants. Indonesian food is known for its strong use of spices like turmeric, chili, galangal, and lemongrass. Every region has its own specialty, making Indonesian cuisine one of the most diverse in all of Asia. Indonesian culture is built on community, respect, and togetherness. The national philosophy is called Pancasila, 5 principles that guide the country toward unity, humanity, and harmony. Family is at the center of daily life, and elders are treated with deep respect. People are generally warm, welcoming, and patient. Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim-majority country, but it is also home to Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, and many other groups, all living side by side. The concept of gotong royong, working together as a community, is practiced in villages and cities alike. Despite having over 270 million people spread across thousands of islands, Indonesians share a strong sense of national identity. Indonesia's traditional clothing varies by region, reflecting its incredible cultural diversity. The most widely recognized traditional garment is batik, fabric with intricate hand-drawn or stamped patterns that carry deep cultural meaning. Batik is so important that UNESCO recognized it as a cultural heritage of Indonesia. In formal events and national celebrations, batik is worn proudly by everyone from students to government officials. Another traditional garment is the kebaya, an elegant fitted blouse worn by women, often paired with a wrapped skirt called a sarong. In daily life, most Indonesians wear modern casual clothing like t-shirts and jeans. However, traditional dress is still worn at weddings, religious ceremonies, and cultural festivals across the country. Indonesia is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world, with over 700 local languages spoken across its many islands. However, the national and official language is Bahasa Indonesia, which was chosen at independence to unite the entire nation under one common tongue. Bahasa Indonesia is relatively simple compared to many Asian languages. It uses the Latin alphabet, has no complex tones, and its grammar is straightforward. This makes it one of the easier languages to learn in the region. It is taught in every school and used in all government, media, and official communication. While people speak their local languages at home, Bahasa Indonesia is what connects over 17,000 islands and hundreds of ethnic groups into one nation. Indonesia celebrates a wide variety of festivals rooted in religion, culture, and national identity. Eid al-Fitr, known locally as Lebaran, is the biggest celebration in the country, marking the end of Ramadan with prayers, family gatherings, and traditional food. Millions of people travel across the country to return to their hometowns in a mass migration called Mudik. Nyepi, the Balinese Hindu New Year, is a unique day of complete silence, no travel, no noise, for an entire day. Waisak celebrates the birth and enlightenment of Buddha at the magnificent Borobudur temple. Indonesia's Independence Day on August 17th is celebrated nationwide with parades, competitions, and flag ceremonies. These festivals reflect the rich, multi-faith, and multicultural spirit that defines Indonesia. Indonesia is a land where stone tells stories. From jungle-covered temples built by ancient Hindu kingdoms to a golden obelisk rising above a modern capital, every monument in this archipelago carries a message of faith, of power, of freedom, and of a people who have always known how to build something that lasts. Buddhist Sailendra dynasty, Borobudur is the largest Buddhist temple ever constructed. Rising from the volcanic plains of central Java, it consists of 9 stacked platforms 2,672 stone relief panels, and 72 hollow stupas, each containing a seated Buddha. For centuries it lay buried under volcanic ash and jungle, silent and forgotten. Rediscovered in 1814, it was restored by UNESCO, and today stands as one of the greatest spiritual monuments on Earth. Prambanan Temple, Central Java, just 17 kilometers from Borobudur, a completely different civilization left its mark. Built around 850 CE by the Hindu Sanjaya dynasty, Prambanan is a forest of sharp stone spires dedicated to the Hindu Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Its tallest tower reaches 47 meters. The walls are carved with scenes from the Ramayana epic, and every year, those ancient stories are performed live, with the illuminated temple as the backdrop. National Monument. Jakarta on 17 August 1961, the 16th anniversary of Indonesian independence, President Sukarno laid the foundation stone of Monas, a 132-meter obelisk crowned with a flame coated in 50 kilograms of gold leaf. It rises above the heart of Jakarta as a permanent declaration of freedom. After 350 years of Dutch colonial rule, Indonesia needed a monument that said, "We are free, we are here, and we are not going anywhere." Istiqlal Mosque, Jakarta Foundation laid on 24 August 1961. Istiqlal, meaning independence in Arabic, is the largest mosque in Southeast Asia, capable of holding 200,000 worshippers. It was built on the ruins of a Dutch colonial fort, and its architect was a Protestant Christian, a deliberate choice by Sukarno to show the world that Indonesia's strength lies in its unity across faiths. Directly across the street stands a Catholic cathedral. The two share a car park. That is Indonesia. Garuda Wisnu Kencana, Bali proposed in 1989 and finally completed on 22 September 2018, the Garuda Wisnu Kencana statue took nearly 30 years to build and stands 167 meters tall, making it the tallest statue in Indonesia. It depicts the Hindu god Vishnu riding Garuda, the divine eagle that is also Indonesia's national emblem. Perched on a limestone cliff above southern Bali, it is visible from across the island and out to sea. It is Bali's way of saying, "Our faith is not fading." Tanah Lot Temple, Bali perched on a rocky outcrop in the sea off Bali's southwestern coast. Tanah Lot is one of the most iconic images of Indonesia. Built in the 16th century by the Hindu priest Niratha, the temple is dedicated to the sea gods and is accessible only at low tide. At sunset, its silhouette against an orange sky has become one of the most photographed sights in all of Asia. It is ancient, it is dramatic, and it belongs entirely to the sea. Baitaraman Grand Mosque, Aceh, built by the Dutch in 1879 as a gesture of goodwill after the brutal Aceh War. The Baitaraman Grand Mosque in Banda Aceh is one of the most historically loaded buildings in Indonesia. It survived the catastrophic 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami that killed over 160,000 people in Aceh alone, standing intact while everything around it was destroyed. For the people of Aceh, it was not luck. It was proof of something greater. Jakarta Cathedral, completed on 20 April 1901 during Dutch colonial rule, the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption stands in the heart of Jakarta in full neo-Gothic style. Twin white spires rising above the city's busy streets, it is the seat of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Jakarta and one of the oldest surviving colonial-era buildings in the capital. It stands directly opposite Istiqlal Mosque. Every Friday and every Sunday, two faiths, two bells, one city. Indonesia's monuments are not a museum of the past. They are a conversation between the ancient and the modern, the sacred and the political, the many faiths that share one archipelago. Each one was built to say something. Together, they say everything. Indonesia does not have one religion. It has 6 officially recognized faiths and a constitution that protects them all. Here, religion is not background. It is the air. Before mosques or churches, Indonesia was a land of spirits. Ancient communities practiced animism, believing rivers, mountains, and ancestors carried living souls. Hinduism and Buddhism arrived first, carried by Indian traders in the 1st century CE. The kingdoms of Srivijaya and Majapahit rose on these foundations. Borobudur was built by Buddhists, Prambanan by Hindus. Islam arrived in the 13th century through Arab merchants along trade routes. It spread peacefully through port cities and gradually inland. By the 16th century, most of Java had converted. Christianity came with Portuguese and Dutch colonizers from the 16th century, taking root mainly in eastern Indonesia, Maluku, Flores, and Papua. Religion and power were inseparable. Hindu god-kings were considered incarnations of Vishnu. When Islam arrived, sultans ruled in God's name. Islamic law shaped commerce, marriage, and daily life. Religion shaped the arts too. Wayang puppetry told Hindu stories even after Java became Muslim. Batik patterns carried spiritual meaning. In Bali, Hinduism survived entirely, blending with local traditions to create a religious culture found nowhere else on earth. Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim-majority nation, 87% of 270 million people. But it is not an Islamic state. Pancasila guarantees freedom of religion for all. In Aceh, Islamic law is enforced by regional government. In Jakarta, a woman in a stylish hijab scrolls through social media in a coffee shop. In rural Java, ancient rituals are performed alongside Friday prayers. Indonesian Islam wears many faces. Bali remains Hindu. Offerings appear at temples, roadsides, and homes every morning. In Papua and Flores, Christianity anchors entire communities. 6 faiths. One nation. The Istiqlal Mosque and Jakarta Cathedral stand across the street from each other and share a car park. In Indonesia, that is simply Tuesday. Indonesia sits on the Ring of Fire, the most seismically active zone on the planet. It is home to over 130 active volcanoes, thousands of fault lines, and coastlines exposed to the open ocean. For all its beauty, this archipelago has always lived close to the edge. These are not rare events in Indonesian history. They are part of it. Mount Tambora eruption. 10 April 1815 location, Sumbawa Island, West Nusa Tenggara. In April 1815, Mount Tambora produced the most powerful volcanic eruption in recorded human history. The explosion was heard over 2,000 kilometers away. It killed an estimated 71,000 people directly and sent so much ash into the atmosphere that 1816 became known worldwide as the year without a summer, causing crop failures and famine across Europe and North America. Entire civilizations on Sumbawa were erased overnight. Krakatoa eruption. 27 August 1883 location, Sunda Strait, between Java and Sumatra. On 27 August 1883, Krakatoa erupted with a force heard as far away as Australia. The explosion triggered a massive tsunami, with waves reaching 30 meters high. Destroying over 160 coastal villages. More than 36,000 people died. The eruption was so powerful, it altered global temperatures for years and turned sunsets red across the world for months. Krakatoa did not disappear. Its successor, Anak Krakatau, still rises from the same waters today. Indian Ocean tsunami. 26 December 2004 location, Aceh Province, northern Sumatra. On the morning of 26 December 2004, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of northern Sumatra, one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded. It triggered a series of tsunamis across the Indian Ocean. Aceh was hit first and hardest. Waves up to 30 meters high swept entire cities and villages off the map within minutes. Over 160,000 people died in Aceh alone. More than 500,000 were left homeless. It remains the deadliest natural disaster in Indonesian history. Yogyakarta earthquake. 27 May 2006 location, Bantul, Yogyakarta, Central Java. At 5:53 in the morning on 27 May 2006, a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck the region around Yogyakarta. In less than 1 minute, over 5,700 people were killed and 36,000 were injured. Hundreds of thousands of homes collapsed. The ancient city of Yogyakarta, the cultural heart of Java, was severely damaged. The nearby Prambanan temple complex also suffered significant structural damage. Aid poured in from across the world, but reconstruction took years. Lombok earthquakes. July, August 2018 location, Lombok Island, West Nusa Tenggara. In the summer of 2018, the island of Lombok was struck by a series of powerful earthquakes. The most devastating hit on 5 August 2018, registering 7.0 in magnitude. Over 460 people died, thousands were injured, and hundreds of thousands were displaced. The earthquakes destroyed entire villages in the north of the island and caused widespread damage to infrastructure. Lombok was still recovering when Sulawesi was struck just weeks later. Anak Krakatau tsunami. 22 December 2018 location, Sunda Strait, Java and Sumatra coastlines. On the night of 22 December 2018, with no earthquake warning, a tsunami struck the coastlines of Banten in Java and Lampung in Sumatra. The cause was a partial collapse of Anak Krakatau, the volcanic island that had grown from Krakatoa's remains. Waves hit without warning, while thousands attended concerts and gatherings on the beach during the holiday season. Over 430 people were killed and thousands were injured. It was a reminder that in Indonesia, the sea and the volcano are never fully at rest. Indonesia has always rebuilt. After every eruption, every wave, every tremor, communities return to the same slopes, the same coastlines, the same soil that has both destroyed and fed them for generations. This is not stubbornness. It is a deep understanding that, in Indonesia, the land gives as much as it takes. And the people have always known how to begin again. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelago. 17,000 islands, 270 million people, and more than 700 languages. Stretching from the Indian Ocean to the Pacific, it sits at the crossroads of Asia and the world. No two islands are exactly alike, yet together they form one of the most diverse and compelling nations on Earth. Indonesia's story begins long before any modern borders existed. Ancient kingdoms rose and fell across the archipelago for over 1,000 years. The Buddhist Srivijaya Empire controlled the seas of Southeast Asia from Sumatra as early as the 7th century CE. The Hindu Majapahit kingdom ruled much of the region in the 13th and 14th centuries, one of the greatest empires Asia has ever seen. Trade brought change. Arab, Indian, and Chinese merchants sailed into Indonesian ports carrying goods and ideas. Islam arrived peacefully in the 13th century and gradually became the dominant faith. The Spice Islands of Maluku drew the attention of the entire world. Nutmeg, cloves, and pepper made Indonesia the most sought-after territory on the planet. Then came the Europeans. The Dutch arrived in the early 17th century and stayed for 350 years. Colonial rule reshaped Indonesia's economy, borders, and society, but it never broke its spirit. On 17 August 1945, Sukarno read two sentences that changed everything. Indonesia declared independence. After 350 years of colonial rule, the Republic was born. Today, Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world and the largest economy in Southeast Asia. Jakarta, its capital, is one of Asia's great megacities. The country exports palm oil, coal, and textiles to the world, while its tourism, technology, and creative industries grow rapidly. Daily life in Indonesia is a blend of the ancient and the modern. A farmer in Java tends rice paddies using century-old techniques. A few hours away, a designer in Jakarta builds an internationally recognized fashion brand. Mosques, temples, and churches stand side by side in the same neighborhood. Indonesia is young, ambitious, and still finding its voice. But it has always known one thing. Its strength is not in its similarities. It is in everything that makes it different. Indonesia was not always an economic power. It has rebuilt itself from colonial rule, political crisis, and financial collapse, and today stands as Southeast Asia's largest economy. "50 years ago. In the 1970s, Indonesia was mostly agricultural. Majority of people worked on farms, poverty was widespread, and infrastructure was minimal. Oil saved the decade. The 1970s oil boom made Indonesia a major petroleum exporter. That revenue built roads, schools, and hospitals across the country. In the 1980s and 90s, Indonesia moved into manufacturing and textiles. Foreign investment grew. A middle class began to emerge. Then 1997 hit hard. The Asian financial crisis collapsed the rupiah, brought down Suharto after 32 years, and shrank the economy by over 13% in 1 year. It was one of Asia's worst economic crashes. Indonesia recovered, reformed, and came back stronger. Today, Indonesia ranks in the top 20 economies worldwide, with a GDP over $1 trillion. Manufacturing, agriculture, and services all drive growth. It is the world's largest palm oil producer and a major exporter of rubber, coffee, and cocoa. The digital economy, e-commerce and fintech is booming fast. Indonesia holds massive reserves of coal, nickel, tin, and natural gas. Its nickel is now critical for electric vehicle batteries, making it a key player in the global clean energy race. Palm oil earns billions in exports, but has come at a heavy environmental cost. Deforestation and peatland destruction remain serious concerns. Growth sits at around 5% annually. A young population of 270 million keeps the potential high. Challenges remain inequality, infrastructure gaps outside Java, and a sinking capital Jakarta being relocated to a new city called Nusantara in Kalimantan. But Indonesia trades with China, the US, Japan, and the EU. It sits in the G20. Its digital economy is one of the fastest growing in Asia. Indonesia is not a finished story. It is still being written. And that is the incredible story of this amazing country. A place that has survived everything history threw at it and still came out standing tall. So tell me, which part did you enjoy the most? Was it the history, the culture, the food, or something else? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. If you learned something new today, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next one. See you in the next video.